He's a U.S. Army veteran of 6 years. For the last 9 years, he has been a law enforcement officer here in San Antonio. And he's been a member of the San Antonio's Finest Realty team for 6 years. He is the managing broker of the Ballard team. Welcome to the show, Noah Ballard.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, buddy. Hey, I want to go over something real quick. We had a discussion I guess it was maybe a couple of months ago, of how you actually got involved in the real estate business. And I know, we're not going to name any names or any of these people are great, but it was interesting to me that what actually motivated you to get into that. So could you go over that real briefly?
Yeah, without naming any names. The real, bottom line of it is that I felt like I didn't have a very good experience in real estate with my first interaction when I was buying my first house. And I realized that A, I could do it better, and B, people were still getting paid at the level that I was getting treated at. So I was like, wow, if people are still getting paid to do this, and I know I could do it much better, how much better could it be? And then also, my thought process was, there's other people that are getting treated like this. I want to fix that. And that's kind of like all entrepreneurs have a issue that they want to fix. And that was my issue. And so that's how I got started.
Absolutely. And, bringing you in, I remember you calling me that day and saying, hey, I'm going to take my classes. I'm going to get started. And we got you in, got you trained. And what I really loved and why I really wanted to bring you on the show was because you are a great example of someone that saw the vision, captured it for yourself, and turned it into your own thing. And you are at the pinnacle of what a associate broker with this company can be. And so let's go over a couple of questions because you run the Valor team.
Yes.
And as the managing broker, you have the luxury of moving it and shaping it and taking it where you want to go with it because it is your team. You manage it. So we're going to talk about some of the things that make it different between maybe running a real estate team versus kind of doing it solo, because you did it solo for a while, just like I did. Some of the steps that you took to building a team or a group. And we're going to talk about can they provide higher level service? That's something I think our listeners really want to know. And what kind of things are involved in the management of a team? What should someone that's out there looking to build their own team consider when they start to do it? And why wouldn't someone want to build a team? So let's go ahead and work on that real quick. So,
sure.
What do you think is uniquely different about running a real estate team versus doing it solo? What are the differences there?
Sure. Well, we talked about a little bit providing a higher level of service to the client. And there's a bunch of different ways that could happen. But being in a team or a group atmosphere, the agents and yourself, you have more knowledge, collective knowledge. You really need a higher level of expertise to maintain it and run a team. You got to be on it. You can't just slack off. You have to maintain your education, but also you basically have to educate everybody else that's underneath you, and make sure that it's done correctly, because now we hold the liability. A team or group, they provide more leverage, and depending on how your team is structured, that leverage could be a lot, it could be a little, but there is some type of leverage there. And by leverage, I mean, the ability to task out other items so we can work on something else at the same time. So an example might be if you have a listing coordinator and a transaction coordinator, both of those agents work at the same time on your listing. You have 2, 3, 4 agents working for you on one listing, versus if you're a solo agent, you're working by yourself. And a lot of people like to do that and keep the control, but I have found that by bringing in more people to either work on finding somebody a house or work on selling somebody's house, it really helps bring a higher level of service to those clients.
The issue I might see there is coordinating.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, a bunch of different agents run around could be problematic,
Yeah.
but it could also be very beneficial, but that's going to require leadership. So, to Gasper's point on, when you come in, you start forming a team, it's really dependent upon the leader to make sure that things execute well.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of management involved for sure. That's one of the biggest learning curves I think about running a team is learning how to manage correctly, and building in systems. Systems are really important, and policies. I mean, Gasper knows all about policies. You know about policies. You really need to set those in stone. That way you can fall back onto it easily. And people, well, what do we do if this happens? It says it right here. That kind of thing.
And that seems the wealth of knowledge by operating in a team is huge. I'm hearing this pretty often about there's questions that come up all the time that people don't necessarily know the answers to. And if you have a single agent who is kind of a solo operator and they don't have access to that knowledge, what happens when they come across something they don't know?
Yeah, they wing it.
Yeah.
That's the right answer. They wind up
wing it.
winging it.
Wing it.
Yeah, and that's scary.
Yeah.
So when you built your team, what were the steps that you took, putting your team together?
So, in Texas, at least, there's really no prerequisite to start your own team. You can have a team of one person. You can start it depending on which brokerage you go to. Ours is different, and I like that. The first thing is putting in dues, learning, experience.
And by dues, you mean paying your dues, putting in the work.
Yeah, and the time and the effort to figure out the market, the real estate, because I could start a team for radio casting, and I don't know much about it. I could start a team for anywhere else, but if I have no experience in it, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna work. So that was the first thing. A couple years of experience, learning the market, learning transactions, that kind of stuff. Going through a lot of crazy transactions. So I had a lot of experiences. So now, I have agents come to me, oh my gosh, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. And I was like, well, that's happened before. This is what's going to happen, or this is the answer, if I started a team and started management without having the experience like that, that would be, detrimental to the growth of the team. Second is formulating your business plan. I feel like that's a really big, important thing to do. Set up your mission statement, your core values, your vision, all that kind of stuff. And to give you an example, the Valor Team's mission statement is to enrich your life and leave a lasting impact on your legacy. We accomplish this by fearlessly representing you with integrity, providing you innovative service that exceeds the expectation, and showing you the true form of a creative and excellent realtor. By combining these standards with our values, we'll foster a lasting relationship of trust that glorifies God. And the third step really is executing your business plan and convincing others of your dream, because you really do have to sell yourself in a sense of let everybody know. And I think if you have a solid business plan and solid core values, your business will grow, because that's what I've seen with the Valor Team.
Right. The ability to inspire those around you and lead them in a way that's going to accomplish the goals, whatever it is that they're on board for in the first place. Huge.
And Gasper is huge at that. He has, that's like his, I don't even know what the word is, but he can inspire people very easily. I mean, he walks into a room, you start getting inspired, and you're like, whoa.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
is that sucking up to the boss?
That's not sucking up to the boss.
Is that what's happening here?
No, but it is true. I mean, you know him, you talk to him, and so I've kind of learned that. And being a police officer, I have 9 years on. That's kind of like a skill I've learned, is you learn from other people that have done it and have experience. So I'm learning from everybody, and that's an important skill.
Awesome. Let's take a quick break for a promo. Folks, the real estate buying and selling season is upon us. San Antonio's Finest Realty offers a Heroes program that saves local heroes thousands at closing. So if you're a nurse, teacher, fire, EMS, law enforcement, or military, call today and ask about our 1% Advantage Plan. You can reach us at 210-509-4911. That's 210-509-4911. Or you can visit our website at www.sanantoniosfinestrealty.com. That's San Antonio's Finest Realty, homes, land, life. Now, Noah, when you what do you feel a team can provide? Do you think a team actually gives a higher level service to the client?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, why do you feel that way?
Kind of like I mentioned before, is the agents, whether you are actually working as a team for somebody or you are in a team, the market exposure. Let's say you have a listing, right? The market exposure of that listing is not only now being pushed by one agent, it's being pushed by all the agents in your team. On the flip side, if you have somebody that's looking for a house, you have multiple agents working, or keeping you top of their mind, working to find you a house versus one agent. So, I mean, there's plenty of examples and reasons to why, but that's a main one. I think that it's very, or it provides a much higher level service.
When you talk about, the benefit to the consumer is key, right? It's just like, because if it benefits the consumer, it benefits everybody, right? Everybody wins. So, as an advantage, you said marketing, right? Obviously, you're going to get a bit more marketing reach. And then we also talked about somebody, or like if there's an unknown, if there's a question out there, the team can come together and execute well there. And then what was the other one?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
So it was like, so we got marketing, we got questions that come up, but yeah, there was another reason. I think you said about sellers. So maybe bringing in more seller leads, these kinds of things,
and having more market exposure for the house.
Yeah. All right, awesome.
So that's all basically around the management, but there's other aspects to management too as well. So someone that's looking at maybe wanting to create a team for themselves, what are some of the things they got to look forward to when it comes to management?
Look forward to. So one of the biggest things that I didn't realize when I first started was training and education. Training and education. Training and education limits liability, and also makes your team better. And you have to really align your agents, with your goals and how you do your business. The only way you can do that is by proper training and education. There's a lot of accounting involved. I hate accounting. Still hate it. Probably hate it more now, but it's necessary. One thing that I didn't realize that, you form a bond with your agents, and you end up providing them personal advice, or just having personal conversations, personal counseling, which that was kind of...
it's the father effect.
Yeah, I wasn't
it
expecting
comes into that. Yeah.
You got to get really good at event planning and finding advertising opportunities for your team. I'm not an event type person, but you definitely have to add that to your skill set.
That's awesome. Well, tell us, Noah, how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, so my website is www.alamo-homes.com, and my phone number is 210-845-6287. You guys can call me. You can text me, and my Instagram handle is Alamo Homes SA, and I'm also on Facebook.
Awesome. Thank you so much. A quick promo. If you're an agent or a broker looking for sponsorship or building a real estate team of your own, visit our recruiting page at www.safr.team. There you will find more info about San Antonio's Finest Realty and an online application to get started in your new career. That's www.safr.team, San Antonio's Finest Realty, Homes, Land, Life.